Hey guys, just want to take a minute and talk a little bit about all the craziness in the world. Woke up yesterday, turned on the Today Show, and noticed that Matt Lauer had been fired. Later in the day, Garrison Keillor was also fired, and this is just the late, maybe not even the latest now. It's Thursday morning, but the latest in a long list of several weeks of celebrities, mostly men, who are going down due to sexual misconduct. Just a couple things that come to my mind. Response, hypocrisy, bad news, good news. First of all, the response. The Bible says in Romans chapter 12 that we are to rejoice when others rejoice, and we are to weep when others weep. It doesn't advance our life, our happiness, our joy, or the cause of making the world better at all when we rejoice when others weep. The second thing is hypocrisy. It's just so everyone is reminded, we all need to be reminded that these sins and these things do not have themselves exclusively connected to one political party, nor are they just for those outside of our particular religion. The reality of this sin is that it expresses the universal nature of mankind. And universally, mankind is sinful in his heart from birth, and tends to do things and leans towards self-centeredness and sinful behavior, which left unbridled goes into these terrible places that we're seeing not only in the area of sexuality, but in violence and racism and everything in our culture. So it's sort of hypocritical when we rejoice that somebody in the other party had this happen, and we treat them one way, and then it happens to someone close to us or in our own party, and we treat them a different way. The reality is this is sin, and it's sin whether it's in my party, in my family, or in wherever. It's sin, and it needs to be called such. Thirdly is bad news. The bad news is unlike a plight or a disease that can be cured and solved and done away with, and we can move on from it, this plight, this problem is not going to go away, because it's rooted in the heart of humanity. And 25 years from now, outside of a cure that deals with the heart issues of humanity, we're going to be uncovering these same kind of things. And sexual misbehavior is not just left up is not just a result of a few bad apples in our society. Sexual misbehavior is the result of a bad apple, a bad fruit that was taken, and that is the fruit of sin that has affected every human being on the planet. And so the bad news is this is not going to go away because we get rid of a few people who have a problem and now we can all move on and we're enlightened and this doesn't happen anymore. And then the good news. And the good news is essentially that it can be cured. There is a cure for all of these destructive behaviors in people's lives. And the cure is the grace of God through the work of Jesus Christ in the heart of an individual. The reality is that someone can be recreated from the inside out, and their heart and their desires and their ambitions and their behaviors can change. I am simply saying that this is a heart issue. And until something happens in the heart of a human being, no amount of embarrassment, no amount of remorse, no amount of trying to modify my behavior can change the base desires of my heart. Only Christ can. And that's really good news, because we are not bound. And that's the beautiful news, that through the gospel of Jesus Christ, the thief can become honest, the immoral can become pure, and the sinful can become righteous. And that's good news for all of us. Let us all pray for all those who are suffering in these moments. And let us not rejoice over someone else's suffering.